Okay, so I dropped out of college, and this is kind of how it's going. So I'm gonna give you guys like a little bit of a breakdown first. So the reason why I decided to drop out of college, I don't think I actually said this anywhere on camera, but originally my whole goal, right? I wanted to go to college, finance, and I want to become a financial advisor, right? Because I love stocks, I love money and stuff like that, and I love helping people. I decided like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, right? So I was looking into and stuff like that. And then I realized, right? So I realized that you need to do 4 years of college to get your bachelor's degree in finance. And that was one of the biggest things for me that kind of stopped me from wanting to do that, because I realized I don't want to go to school for this long. I don't want to go to school just to get a normal job, right? If I'm doing something for 4 years, I want to own my stuff. I want to be a owner of my business. I don't want to work 4 years. I mean, I don't want to go to school for 4 years just to become an employee at some, advisor firm. And I realized that a couple of months after that, I decided that's what I wanted to do. And I realized, like, this is not for me. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to stick in school to try to work for the rest of my life. That's not something I want to do. So the funny story on how I got into dropshipping, my friend, he was like, bro, we gotta do dropshipping and stuff like that. I was like, it's whatever, right? And then I started doing my research on it, and I was like, okay, this actually looks solid, right? So one day I just decided to do it, and ever since then I've just been really locked in on it since. And I would say, I'm gonna be honest, right? So in my journey so far, it's definitely not been easy, right? Obviously, people say yes, it's hard, stuff like that. But when I tell you guys this stuff is hard, like I genuinely mean it, bro. This stuff is not easy. It's nowhere near any sort of quick get rich scheme unless you're crazy at it. But obviously, I have no experience, right? So I'm just coming in this completely fresh, and I taught myself everything I know. You feel me? Just YouTube stuff like that. So there's nothing really given to me information wise. I had to seek everything that I was trying to learn. And kind of, if you want to speak on like the financials on how it's going right now, I think I made about $7,000 so far. Um, I'm not gonna lie, that's not profit. You feel me? Obviously, I can't even tell you my profit at this point because it's just been so many ups and downs. But I can't tell you what my revenue is. It's $7,000, and I've been doing this for about 5 months now. And honestly, I think that it's a good number, right? But at the same time, I'm not excited, right? Because 7K in the long run is nothing, right? I mean, it's a little bit of money. You can get some nice stuff with 7K, but at the end of the day, 7K is not a large amount of money. You can say whatever you want, but you really gotta think, bro. That's really not a lot. I mean, it's maybe like dependent. Oh my gosh. Oh god. What the heck? I don't know why I just did that. But depending on where you live, right? That's maybe three months of rent, some 3, 4, maybe. But obviously, I'm looking at the bigger goal. I'm looking at the bigger picture here because I know in the future that I'll be making 10, 20, 30K months, and that's nothing, right? So I'm looking at the bigger picture here, and I realized that okay, I did work for this, but there's bigger goals to achieve, and that's kind of how I started to shift my mindset, because I realized that okay, yes, since I'm not going to college, since I dropped out of college, and this is something that I want to do long term, I need to think for the long term, right? My goal in this is to last as long as I can, because people in the online money industry, they don't last long, bro. People get in the space, they make a little bit of money, and they just kind of fall out, right? And if you are able to become a person that sticks in something for years, 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 you're going to be versing those people that are just beginning, are just trying to get in the space. Obviously, there's going to be people ahead of you, yes, but at the same time, you're going to be basically right up there with them, because you have so much more experience than these newer guys coming in, just looking to make a couple quick bucks. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it, because a lot of people, they think online money is saturated. It is. Everybody wants to make it, but the thing is, not everybody is good at it. That's the thing that you need to get in your head. Not everybody can make money online, because not a lot of people are willing to put in the effort and put in the time. That's what is setting me apart from the other people, because I'm recognizing, okay, I'm not going to college. I don't know if you guys know, but I got fired from my job also a couple of weeks ago. So, there's not a lot, there's no room for error, right? There's going to be mistakes, right? But in the long run, I'm going to get to my destination, right? And a thing I like to think about here, right? This is one of my favorite analogies. I came up with this myself. Um, I like to say, cut your seatbelt, right? So think about it this way: if you have work in the morning and you get your seatbelt cut off, are you or are you not going to go to work? You are, because you have to get to work, right? So I like to think of it like this, cut your seatbelt, right? So in my sense, I got fired from my job. I dropped out of college. Am I still going to get to my destination of success? Yes, I am, regardless of what happens, because that's my goal. That's what I have to do. So I'm going to do that, regardless of what my situation is, regardless of the challenges, the struggles. You have to get to your destination. So that's how it's going to be. So that's really how I like to think of it, because at the end of the day, bro, it really comes down to yourself. Another good analogy. This isn't really an analogy, but another good thing to think about, bro, is you generally cannot control the outputs. You cannot control what happened. You can only control what you do. So that's really why you just have to focus on the inputs rather than the outputs, right? So, all I know is if I work every single day, I have a higher chance of achieving what I want to achieve than somebody that doesn't work every day. And in my mind, I'm not even doing it just for the success. I'm doing it because I'm doing it. Pause. You feel me? You got to think about it, right? I'm doing that because this is something that I have to do. I'm going to put in the inputs to achieve the outputs, right? But I'm not doing it specifically for the outputs. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. So if that makes sense to you, it's good. I don't know if I explained that bad, but yeah, bro, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's like 5 in the morning. I haven't been to sleep. I don't know, my sleep schedule is kind of cooked right now, but I don't know. Another thing I do want to touch on though, this is something that has been, I've been like really understanding this now that I have so much more free time, is that a lot of people, they say, yes, oh yeah, I'd rather not work a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. Not working a 9 to 5 is hard. And let me explain to you guys, right? So for me, right, I'm not doing school anymore, and I'm not doing a normal job. I have so much dead time that obviously I generally have no idea what to do, right? I already work all day, right? And sometimes when I'm done working, or I have little pauses in my work, I'm just like, what do I do? I don't really socialize with people anymore because I'm always in the house and stuff like that. I go to the gym. You feel me? But other than that, it's like it's really no socializing, because it's like I don't I don't want to socialize with people that aren't on the same wavelength as me, right? And that may sound bad to say, but that's just generally how I feel. I don't want to go out my way to try to meet people that are just BSing, bro. Like that's really what it comes down to. And I like to think about this. I realize, even with the online money space, a lot of people, I try to go out and meet people, but I think to myself, it's no point, bro, because a lot of people are still BSing, even in the online money space. So like another video I seen, I don't know who even made the video, but I think it's actually by Slon. Or Slon? No, no, no. It wasn't Slon. It was the other guy. I don't know, bro. But he said don't network up, network at your level, right? Don't try to go and meet people that are doing crazy. If you're making 10K a month, why are you trying to network with millionaires? That's stupid, bro. I mean, because what value are you providing them, right? Obviously, they're providing you so much more value, but what value do you provide them, right? And obviously, I think to myself in my online business space, my personal journey, there are people that have helped me, you know, more than they even should have, but I really do appreciate those people. But even at the same time, it wouldn't be crazy for them to just not even bat an eye to me because I'm not at their level or above. So it just comes down to really working around your level and then leveling up with those people at your level. So that's one thing that I've been working on, because I stopped networking. I stopped trying to reach out because I'm trying to work on myself. Like I said, I'm not doing college. I'm not doing a job. Even this is all I have, right? So there's no like, failure is not an option, bro. And a lot of you guys, you need to start thinking this way, bro, because you're not gonna get where you want to get if you have a cushion, if you have a plan B, because there's no urgency, bro. Like, okay, I'll work on this whenever I work on this, bro. But if you're working on this because This is how you're gonna eat. You feel me? This is how you're gonna pay your bills. This is how you're gonna get your car. Like this is, you have to do it, right? That's the mindset that you need. You have to get it done. No matter what the circumstances, no matter how you feel, how other people feel, you have to just put it all to the side, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, nobody is gonna save you. I'm sure everybody has said this, everybody's heard this, but nobody's gonna save you, bro. You know, um, you know, when it comes to this stuff, bro, the only person that can save you is yourself. Nobody's gonna be like, I see you working hard. Let me teach you. I see you working hard. Let me show you. I see you working hard. Just take this. Just take that. No, people don't care. They really don't. You feel me? And it's fine because that's just how it is, bro. I mean, if everybody was giving it out, what's the point? Everybody be rich. You know what I mean? And that kind of takes away from the point of being rich, do it? Because, but yeah, bro. I don't know. We're gonna wrap this up, bro. Like I said, I dropped out of college. I got fired from my job, but I'm okay because look, we're gonna come back to this video in a year, in 2 years, and I'm just gonna sit back and watch it because I know that when I'm watching this video in the future, I am where I want to be because I believe in myself, and I genuinely believe that no matter what I choose to do, I can succeed, and that's just what it is.